This is Mr. Ashton going through some excellent work on simultaneous equations in our books that we've done this term, and that we'll be having a test coming shortly. In terms of the first question I'm going to show, this is really excellent work that I just want to explain why it's been done so well. So a simultaneous equation is an equation that has two different letters in it. So an x and a y is what we're used to seeing, but you can have any two letters, so you can have an a and a b or whatever. Now, the reason why this one can't be solved at the moment is because the x coefficient, so coefficient meaning the number in front of the letter, so if you need to write that down in your key terms, or what's the key message, that's important. You understand the word coefficient means the number in front of the letter. So these numbers are different and these numbers are different, or these coefficients are different. So what we do is we get two of them the same. So the initial question would have just been these two things here. Now this person has created two brand new equations, and can you see this time the y values are the same? Now, when you're doing this, you need to pick the smaller letter, or the letter with the smallest coefficients, and choose them. Don't choose the x. 3 and 12, 12's massive. Times by 12 make everything much harder. So you times by the opposite coefficient. So you see this 5 here, although I've included the plus sign, I'm not actually too interested in that, and that will be a bit more obvious in the next question. You times the opposite equation by it. So the 5 times is by that one there, and this one has the 2 times and by this one here. Okay, so then everything in this line here was times by 5. So 3x times by 5 was 15, 2x or 2y times by 5 was 10y, and 10 times by 5 was 50, and this thing everything was doubled. So 12 times by 2, 24, 5 times by 2 is 10, and 34 times by 2 is 68. Now, you can either do, as this person's done, equation 4 take away equation 3, or you can do 3 take away 4. You choose which one makes the most sense, and this was the correct one to choose. We don't want to have a negative x here. So what we do is we choose the x, the biggest coefficient, so that belongs to equation 4, and we take away the other one. So that's why this one should have been correctly chosen. So my one that I said here is wrong. Okay, it's not technically wrong, but it will make everything a little bit harder. So what we've got here is 24x take away 15x, that gave me 9x. 10y take away 10y is gone, so nothing to be written down here, and then 68 take away 50 is 18. And now you can see this person has taken the 9 across over to the other side, and it's changed to a divide by 9. 18 divided by 9 is 2. Now it's very important that you remember, if you found one letter, you've got to go and find the other letter. So the way that you do that is by substituting that answer, so that x equals 2, into one of the original two equations. Don't come to equation 3 or 4, because those numbers are bigger and it'll make your life harder. So go to either 1 or 2. This person's chosen 1, and they've changed there. They've written down the original statement, then they've subbed in that x was 2, so 3 times 2 is 6. It's 2y equals 10, that stayed the same the whole time. They've taken the 6 across the other side to take away by 6. 10 take away 6 is 4. They've taken the 2 over to the other side and divided by 2, and found that y was also 2. So excellent. What I would like you to do now is to pause the video and attempt this question here. Okay, just to let you in what I did, I got the y's the same because these numbers were smaller, it would make your life easier. So this one here, being a 2, I times the top one by 2, and this one be here, 3, times the bottom one by 3, and generated my two new equations, these ones here. Now, I'm either going to do 3 take away 4, or I'm going to do 4 take away 3. I'm going to choose this one because 15x take away 14x will give me 1x. The other way around, 14x take away 15x will give me minus 1x. Don't want that, so I'm taking away that way. So that's going to give me 1x, which we'll just call x, 6y, take away 6y, so that's just gone. And then the next thing is an equal sign, and then 69 take away 66 is 3. I found out that x is 3. I would now sub my value for x, so sub x equals 3, in one of the original equations. I always choose a number with smaller answers or smaller coefficients in it, and definitely no negatives. Okay, so I'm going to choose 2. So sub x equals 3 in 2. So we get 5x, so that's 5 times 3, plus 2y is equal to 23. I'm then going to expand that to get 15 plus 2y equals 23. I'm now going to take that 15 over to the other side where it will become a minus 15, leaving 2y equals 23. And then 2y will be equal to 23 minus 15, which is 8. And y is equal to 8 divided by 2, because this is currently times by 2, so y is equal to 4. The next question I wanted to show you was one with some negative signs in it. And as you can see, it was a challenge question at the time. Now, this person has cleverly highlighted that if you have different signs here, you must add. That's what DSA stands for, different signs add. Same sign, subtract, so we would have said SSS if it was 2 pluses or 2 minuses. So, whenever you are getting, or whenever you have one of each sign, you must get these ones the same and add them. Now when I say, or when I said before, you times by this number, you ignore the sign, so this is times by 2, and this one with times by 3, you ignore the sign. So now we get two new equations here, so times everything here by 2, that's how I got this equation, or that's how they got this equation, and you times everything by 3 in this case here. Now you would add these two things together. So 14x plus 12x gives us 26x. 6y plus minus 6 it cancels, and that's why you must add them. If I try to take them away, 6y minus 6y would be 12y, and we'd still have y in there. And then add these two together, and we get 130, and then solved as followed. Then we subbed in, and then we solved as before. Now, one thing to mention by here is that even though these are the two smallest numbers, if you've ever got a plus and a minus sign, you must always get these two the same. Regardless if these are smaller, and you think, oh, let's get these the same, always get the plus and the minus the same so we can do this different signs at. Okay? With that in mind, I'd like you to attempt this question here. Okay, now even though the 3 and the 4 are smaller than the 5 and 6, because these have different signs, you must get these the same. So I'm going to times the bottom one by 5, I'm going to times the top one by 6. So I got the two new equations as follows. Now because of this having different signs here, where is it by here, we must add these two equations together. So we're going to do equation 3, add equation 4. So we're going to get 18 plus 20, so we're going to get 38x, and then we're going to get 380 there. Now that's putting me in a good mood, because when I take the 38 across, I'm going to divide by 38, and I can see that it goes into that 10 times, so x equals 10. Don't forget your substitution line though, that's really, really important. So we're going to state sub x equals 10 in, now you choose one of the smaller numbers unless it's got a negative in it. So I'm not going to choose that one because it's got a negative in it, so we're going to choose this one. It will make life a lot easier. So I'm going to choose 2. So I'm going to say 4 lots of x, so 4 lots of 10 plus 6y equals 64. That's 40 plus 6y equals 64, and solve from there. And you should have got y equals 4.